right,
Welcome to Levack and Guys on a Tuesday. Guys is just so good. He's so good at typing. I heard he's going to get pilled into a secretary pool at some point for his ability to type and just be great with typing. Yeah.
Did you know is that still a necessary course to graduate for the class of 2008 in at least Syracuse, New York? I don't know if it was a New York State requirement. You had to take keyboarding. That was a required graduating class. Keyboarding was my first class in high school. Mrs. Sutherland was the teacher. Clearly, I've progressed or digressed or didn't pay attention, barely squeaked by from 20 plus years ago, learning how to do keyboarding.
This just in, we've received a cease and desist from Miss Sutherland. She does not want credit nor blame for your ability to type. You know who gets credit? I'm just saying. Who picked Pete Crow Armstrong before the season started to be the National League MVP? Who picked the dude who hit a leadoff and a walk-off home run? Who picked that guy? This guy, Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, Mets fan is having the worst year ever. Mets fan is having the worst year. Like, this is the worst year for Mets fan. You spent all the money. You got the great lineup. You got the great roster. You got all the stuff. You're supposed to be a World Series contender. I just bet you like 35-1 to make the postseason just for fun, just for poops and giggles. But on top of all of that, you drafted Pete Crow Armstrong. Like, that dude's from your farm system, and he is a beast. I heard Colin Cowherd call him Mike Trout with attitude, and I like that. I like that, dude. I'm saying, just Pete Crow Armstrong. Who said it? Who called it? Who's the guy?
That would be you, although it's not over yet. I'm rooting for Pete Crow Armstrong. He is absolutely awesome. Here's the biggest shakeup involving Pete Crow Armstrong. We know he's awesome, but however these people determine these things, whatever back room and whatever they're texting, I did quickly, when it comes to the awards thing, look at the odds. And I wondered, Ohtani, especially in baseball, my gosh, there'd be years where Mike Trout felt like shouldn't have won the AL MVP, but the odds wouldn't reflect that. And because of who Ohtani is and the multiple MVPs that he's won, I thought, you know what, as good as PCA is, he ain't going to be close.
Are you drinking?
He ain't going to be close.
You drinking?
This thing on, hello? Plus 110.
Yeah.
Minus 135 for Ohtani. That is the biggest compliment of the whole thing. Ohtani?
How is Ohtani the favorite?
You know the answer why Ohtani's the favorite. It's the same reason he's been the favorite before.
Because people are stupid. The Dodgers suck out loud. The Cubs are playing great. PCA is leading the league in greatness. He's 30 for 30 again. If you add up his stats from last night, it's a game that's never been had before. Reach base 5 times, 4 times on hits. I think 3 of those were extra base hits. 2 of those were home runs, a leadoff and a walk-off. Like, and he told funny jokes about the fights in the stands. Come on. What are you doing? Come on, Ohtani sucks. He's the suckest freak.
I believe Ohtani hit 2 home runs last night.
Oh, please. So he finally woke up and did something. He's pedestrian. He's pedestrian. Of course he hit 2 home runs last night. I've been rocking these home run props. I've been rocking them. And of course, last night I don't touch Wilson Contreras. I don't touch Shohei Ohtani. I don't touch a couple other like that I've normally been on. But I did have Pete Alonso. And I did have PCA. I had them both. I'm feeling pretty good. My NFL war chest is growing. Long ball war chest is growing.
Also for the Ohtani people, Ohtani is scheduled to throw today. He may be back to pitching again at some point. He has not pitched since July 3rd. That's the answer. We did the same thing for Francisco Lindor not too long ago. We've done the same thing in the National League before. I don't think it's a problem, but the argument for Ohtani is the pitching. We just haven't seen somebody do this with Ohtani before. This even goes back to the American League, right? With Ohtani versus Judge. I believe there was a season there in the late 2010s where those two battled when he was a member of the Angels and everything else. That's the advantage when it comes to Ohtani, when it comes to this MVP award. Now, here's also the problem. I think it'd be cool if Pete Crow Armstrong won. I root for him. You're right. The Dodgers have stunk, and we're going to get to the shakeup that's happened in the National League and the American League over the course of the last week and what this wild card and standings and all this stuff could look like. If this was the NBA, Ohtani might lose the MVP. If it was the NBA, Pete Crow Armstrong could win the MVP. If it was college football and the Heisman Trophy, Pete Crow Armstrong could win the award. Why I pinpoint those two leagues and voting and everything else is what we've seen over the course of the last 25 years, longer back for the Heisman Trophy, is that those groups of voters, although they've changed, like to vote for the best story. Oh, Derrick Rose, he's not LeBron. Look how young he is. Let's vote for Derrick Rose. Oh, Embiid's due for one. We got to vote. Oh, the Thunder and SGA. That's become a hot debate in the NBA of who wins the MVP, but it's become a story award. The Heisman Trophy, my gosh, Johnny Football, Manti Te'o was the same year, by the way. But we can keep going through this of what a story this player was and what he overcame, blah, blah, blah. There's tons of examples of the Heisman Trophy being more story-based and performance-based, or a candidate gets there because of the team and everything else. I don't think he's going to win it. The odds are shocking.
Who would you vote for? Who would you vote for?
I would vote for Ohtani still.
You are such a slug.
What do you mean? Ohtani pitches.
He's not better.
He's the best baseball player in the world, Ohtani. He still is.
Yeah, if you want 6'5" and circus freak. Don't you dare, Babe Ruth. Don't you dare. Don't you.
The stats are better than Babe's.
This is the problem. You suffer from white guilt. That's what it is. All of your favorite baseball players are Asian. All of your favorite baseball players are Asian. Ichiro.
How did you know that?
who's the dude from the White Sox? Whatever.
See Dan Omo pitch when he was young. Yes. How do you know these things? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. You just listen. You got like the reverse of the kid who grows up going, I want to be out. Like, I see a guy that looks like me, and actually, that's who I want to be. Like, you're like, man, I really wish that I could play Japanese baseball. Oh, life would be so much better if I could use chopsticks. Like, that's you. And listen, just admit it, and I'll back off. But PCA is more valuable than Shohei Ohtani this year. PCA is my favorite non-Yankee this year. And you, sir. You're like Tom Selleck in Mr. Baseball. You just want to be embraced by the Japanese culture.
No, it has nothing to do with race. Although I do have a lot of favorite players who are not from America in my career as a baseball fan. You want
my 4-player home run parlay?
Right now?
You want it right now?
I'll take it right now.
Okay, but you have to admit that Pete Crow Armstrong is better than Shohei Ohtani right now.
No,
then you can't have it. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to give it to you. Say it. Say the words. You know you want this.
I want him to win. I want him to win.
Then vote for him. Say you're going to vote for him.
I don't have
with your words. Yeah, but vote for him with your words. Vote for him with your words.
I don't have an argument why he's better until if the Cubs catch the Brewers. If the Cubs get this, you know what this argument's going to turn into? You know what this discussion is going to turn into? It's going to turn to Cal Raleigh and Judge last year. And Cal Raleigh still didn't win. Didn't matter.
So hold on. So you're saying that if Pete Crow Armstrong leads the Cubs past the Brewers in standings, you think he's the MVP? Is that what you're saying?
I would believe he'll probably catch offensively Ohtani with that. And if we're pacing like this, there's a chance the Dodgers could fall out of first place. And if I've got a guy who led his team to the most wins in the National League and is better offensively, and Ohtani's not coming back to pitch, and look, I got a lot of ands here. That is one path to Pete Crow Armstrong winning the MVP. Offensively, they're pretty even, Ohtani and PCA.
He's not even the most valuable player on the Dodgers. He's not even the most valuable player on his own team.
Is it most outstanding? Well, wait. Nobody else is pitching for the Dodgers and hitting for the Dodgers. I would say that's pretty valuable.
Neither's he. Yamamoto's a better pitcher. That's true. And Mookie's having a nice year. Freeman had a nice hit last night. Had him in a little extra base parlay. Got some parlays working. You know what? I'm going to be nice to you, even though you suck. Even though I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like this parlay because I'm gonna just be honest with you because you know why? Shohei's not in it. Yordan Alvarez, Bobby Witt Jr., Matt Olson, and Junior Caminero. That's a 4 home run parlay. You're gonna have to ride it. You gotta watch it because if you get the buyout early, go for it. But I got that bad boy in over at our friends at DraftKings, and that's a $5 4 home run parlay, bringing back over $1,900 with a small little booster in there.
Whoa!
And it's gonna happen too. When it happens, PCA is why. Okay, I've been riding that PCI. All right, so here's what you want to do the rest of the week.
I'm doing it right now.
Do it. Get down on that. Get down on that. $5. $5. Oh, you'll do $1. But that's all right. It'll still be a nice pay. It'll be nice. PCA and Fernando Tatis Jr. And those are the two guys that you want to keep in your home run pools more than anything right now. Those two guys are Fernando Tatis Jr. I don't know when it happened. Like, I don't know what happened. He's been good in the field, but he's been terrible at the plate. The last couple of weeks, he's come alive at the plate, and you can't keep him in the park. You can't keep him in the park. So FTJ and PCA, those are the two. Those are your riders. You're going with those guys as long as you can. Right there. That's what you're doing. You want the names again?
No. I got June. I think I got it. I'm gonna go slow for our people who are exercising right now or whatever they're doing. I got Junior from the Rays, Bobby Witt Jr. as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Did I hear Pete Crow Armstrong again? He's
no. Matt Olson today. Matt Olson.
Matt Olson.
He didn't hit one yesterday. And then Yordan Alvarez. That's the four for today. Now, do I have a Ben Rice one out there? Yes, I have a Ben Rice one out there, but he's cooled off a little bit. Benny's cooled off a little bit. But you're going to put Shohei in that. You know you are.
No.
By the way, over in the Dodgers game tonight. It's like 11.5.
Ooh, you got a lot of plays.
I'm firing today. I'm firing.
I got to do that later. I just hit a button and hit delete. That's just going to annoy me later. The Yankees have activated Carlos Rodon from the IL. Fried's going the opposite. A lot going involved in your Yankees. At one point on Monday, we were so packed. We had a banner that just said the Yankees stink, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Just some rotating between pitchers. And how do you feel about your Bronx Bombers right now?
The injuries are an issue. I mean, they're definitely an issue. There's, you don't know exactly when you're getting Judge back. Stanton is an injury. Now you got this deep bone bruise for Fried. My question with Fried, because they did the 15-day retroactive for a couple days, so technically he's got, I think, 12 days left, maybe 11. My question is, are you basically saying, hey, we're a wild card team. We're not taking down the AL East. We're 6 games back with 36 games to go. Let's get Fried as healthy as humanly possible. Or is this like the last time he had a bone bruise where we lost him for, I believe it was 10 weeks. He was out last time he had a bone bruise with the Yankees. So if this is hey, let's get everybody as healthy as humanly possible so that we dominate the wild card, and then we're marching out ace after ace after ace in the postseason, then this is, dare I say, good news. But if this is a situation where he's not going to be back until, you've got to advance a round or two of the playoffs before you see him in pinstripes again, well, then this is not good news. You need Fried out there. Your lineup's not strong enough without him.
I wish I had a better answer for you for the question you asked there, because those are tough things to figure out here in mid-August. You just want a pitcher to get healthy, but we've seen different teams take different strategies on their pitchers, younger arms. The classic 5-man rotation, which touched on for years, isn't always that rotation, especially in a 3-game set and a 5-game 7, like different ways, seasons on the line. Who are you going to save? It's hard. What is the best? You would think it's going to be Cam and Cole, but you'd love Fried as a potential arm out there. Is Rodon ready to? You paid him a lot of money. He's supposed to be ready. If you did projections, he was supposed to be in this spot, not Cam. But here you now sit with the Yankees. Still a playoff team, still in the mix, still not losing anything else. So just a tough time to say, like, confidently the Yankees are going to win the American League. It's them and the Rays. We finally, truly, like, no, you have to think about it.
Watch out for the Astros. They're always
the Astros. We're going to get to the Astros in a second, but
they're always there.
So when it was April and May, it was the Yankees and everybody else. It was like there was a tier. It was the Yankees and everybody else for like the first 6 weeks of the season. And then Tampa came back, and now it's Tampa and the Yankees and everybody else. Yes, Chicago is good. It's cool to see that team, who was supposed to be historically bad for so long, continue to lead in the American League Central. Back to Houston. Man.
Wait a minute. Before you do it. Again, the recipe to win it all for the Yankees is Fried, Schlittler, Cole, and then head to bed. Head to bed. Okay.
All right.
Hedrick to Bednar. Head to bed.
Oh,
that's
okay.
it.
All right.
That's what it is. Okay. So that's the recipe for a championship is 6+ from your monster races, and then guys, just head to bed.
Head to bed. Gosh, now I'm botching my lyrics of Enter Sandman. Oh,
exit light, enter night.
No, there's no
Never,
bed
never
reference. There's no bed. There's the word bed said in the opening, right? First bed. What was the name? Guess the lyric. Anyways, I feel like you could like play.
Pillow chat.
Yeah, you would think there was a bed instead of the word.
Sleep
Anyway.
Pillow
time. Now we're gonna charge from YouTube. That was a song. How many years in a row have I done this with Houston? And I think I did it here on the podcast side, not on the radio side of they're done. They're done. Go to the Houston Astros are zombies. You hear me? Zombies. These people are coming up year after year on me from the grave, rising up and must win the AL West. That's more Frankenstein, but you get the point.
I mean, he was
year
kind of a zombie.
A zombie, right? Every year they're doing this. Seattle was supposed to be your year. You got so close to your first World Series. You couldn't do it. One day, we swear the Angels are going to be good. The A's were going to be terrible. Texas has won a World Series in the last 10 years. This was supposed to be Texas, not Houston. And there they are in contention. Oh, by the way, I had fun with this. Something I also get to mention on Monday's show. So everybody's weekends are wild in the summer. I get all that. Everything is moving around. And I'm looking, and my favorite term to use, I don't know who gets it. I think Rodney Harrison was the first one I heard this. Stay on the graphic. If you're a person rooting for your team, college or pros, you want your team on the graphic. So the other day I had the TV in the background. I was out to dinner with the family, and I was, it was like reflecting, right? So like it's back behind me, and I see it here. I'm like, it's weird. I don't see the Orioles at the bottom of the AL wildcard standings. Where are they? I don't see them at the bottom. Where are they? Well, look, you see here. There's my Orioles at the top. And as much as I
top?
Would in the wild card, they would be in the postseason. If it was yesterday, Sunday and Monday, they would be the final wild card team. Now, here's the thing. I wish I could tell the Orioles got on a hot streak. I wish I could tell that Baltimore was doing it, and they're the reason. Texas got super cold. There was at one point the Rangers, Tigers, Twins, and Guardians and Mariners had all lost a combination of 7 of their last 10 games. Everybody sucked. And Baltimore just sucked the least. And there they went up the standing. Just stay 500. Stay right. So it was good to see my Orioles work their way up the standings.
It's a 3-team tie for the last wild card spot.
That's right.
And then,
they were by themselves.
2 teams are a half game back. And then the Guardians are 1 game. Seattle's 2 games. Man, it's a logjam. It is an absolute logjam. Meanwhile, it would be cool if Baltimore made it, though, because that would mean if things stay the way they are, the wild cards would all be AL East. Yankees, Sox, Orioles.
That would be awesome with the loaded division before the season, too. Everyone said how good that division would be. The really good teams have just because of math found their way there. And it's nice seeing your team work their way up the season. Oh, by the way, speaking about staying, this is as much as I'd like to go more on the Orioles. I think there's the more intriguing storyline involves the NL West. Because on the NL West side of it, as much as we just talked about the Dodgers and Pete Crow Armstrong and everything else involving that, there is now a scenario that when the Dodgers were going through that losing spot where it could be Atlanta and Milwaukee. How about that? $1 billion deferred money, Ohtani, the multiple MVPs. There's a real chance the Dodgers are going to have to play in that opening round because of how good Milwaukee and Atlanta. That's a massive deal if the Dodgers got to. And one more time, not just not getting a bye. Anything can happen in a 3-game series. They don't have the bullpen that they had 2 or 3 years ago.
Maybe Ohtani will pitch in the bullpen. You kiss ass.
So you say that being sarcastic, a joke. They might do that. I would be shocked if they threw him in the postseason. I think he's got good enough. I would love to see. I'm rooting against the Dodgers. All right. Don't get the first 20 minutes of this show twisted. As much as I think Ohtani's going to win the MVP and probably is projected to finish as the MVP, I am rooting against the Dodgers. Let's not get that twisted.
Sure you are. Kung Fu Panda guys. That's what's going on around here.
I have no rooting interest for the New York Jets as we move on here. Breece Hall injured. At one point, we had a little bit more rooting interest in the New York Jets when he worked for 2 different New York Jets stations. The Jets keep bumping around their Jets. Anyways, Breece Hall, right groin injury in yesterday's practice. Imaging test to figure out how bad it is. Aaron Glenn said, I don't think it was a big deal, but I'll make sure I get the evaluation on that. Levack, what do we make? 25-year-old Breece Hall, he'd been the talk for nearly 12 months involving Jet fans of will they, won't they, will he? Is he coming back? Is he not coming back? They finally gave him a contract. Now he's hurt. How big of a deal is this right now, Dr. Levack on Breece Hall?
Again, the only non-major groin injury are ones that don't happen to your groin. I'm sure Breece Hall finds this to be a very major injury. No, I think it's time of year and all that stuff. I for one, I'm happy he got paid, because I think like a lot of these running backs, this kind of stuff happens and then they're done. You know what I mean? Like their earning potential goes down. So many other issues that happen, but I don't think this is. Let me put it like this: I do not believe that this season makes or breaks on the groin of Breece Hall. And by makes or breaks, I mean 7 wins. Like, I think if he's healthy and everything goes right and everything looks good, there's six wins, maybe 8 wins. No, I'm not going to do it.
Come on.
But if he's, because Brandon Allen is out there, he looks healthy now. So like that 1-2 punch out of the backfield would be fun. But I think a lot of this is going to come down to Geno Smith and Cade Klubnik. Which one of those guys? Because I could see a scenario where Klubnik becomes kind of the guy, like where everybody, like he's the reason Aaron Glenn gets another year. They win 5-6 games, and Klubnik looks like he's the actual future. You know, as the quarterback. Defense looks solid. Maybe an interception or 3 this year instead of like damn near none. But no need to rush Breece Hall to rushing. Like, he's 25. You sign him for a couple years. If everything goes perfectly this year, you end up with a top 7 to 12 draft pick, and he's part of a team that's competing for the East in a year or 2.
Breece Hall has been actually pretty durable his entire career. He's only missed 2 games in 3 years. For a running back, that's remarkable. And not even just a running back, being a running back on a bad team, it's remarkable. How often have we seen running backs on bad teams just get blasted? Well, offensive line can't throw a block. Teams are blitzing more often because they don't trust the quarterback play. Those running backs usually just wear and tear. Not the case for Breece Hall. Now, I know he's got a torn ACL in that mix too in 2022. So, yeah, he suffered some injuries in the past. Massive deal that he's not going to be out there at least for the rest of the month, because we have to find out what his status is. Like, if he's, I don't know if they can win a ton of games without him. I don't know if they can win a ton of games with him.
That's more the right.
Yeah,
that's my point.
That's the tough part about this. Now that we both believe Allen's a very good back, and he's got that odd birthday where I believe he entered the league when he was 20, so he's got a lot, and he didn't take that much lumps and carries in college either. So he's a good player too, and he's actually physically growing. He actually is getting bigger because of how young he is when he entered the league. Breece Hall's still solid. I don't have any pushback on the contract either, because it's a new organization. Decision makers, I'm talking GM and head coach, they believed in him. So they make the move, they bring him in, and all those things seem to be a positive for the Jets moving forward when he's healthy, when he's on the field. I do love this new line I heard the other day, and this does not fall for Breece Young. Breece Hall. I said Breece Young. Bryce Young. Breece Hall. I don't know where that came from. But
you drank today. You're drinking.
No.
And I'm mad because I would have drank too.
I'm waiting for someone to walk in behind me here. That about a college player I heard this about. They go, after his freshman season, they go, well, he got hurt, so he's got to prove he can stay healthy. That's not a thing. Okay, wipe that away from anybody who's hearing that line about a rookie in the NFL or a freshman or any. Prove to stay healthy cannot be a new phrase. You know me, I used to not like the term injury prone, because injury prone would never happen to players who are on the bench. Injury prone is only a term used for people who actually play. The new one of have to prove they can stay healthy. That one's also getting eliminated too.
You can only use that one.
How do you prove it? What do you do?
You can only use that one when you're going for a contract. I think that, because when you're if I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to sign you, because like Braylon Allen, he's a 4-year guy, he's not a 5-year guy. So, you know, he's going to want to show durability to make them want to give him the money, kind of deal. So I don't think it's fair to say it to a rookie, like, you know what I mean? Because it's all you got to do is prove you can play as a rookie, and you'll get to play. And then, but when you're trying to maximize that second contract, that's when you have to prove you can stay healthy.
All right, that makes a little bit of sense. I got to admit, my mind jumped to like a young quarterback if they had gotten hurt. Be like, I got to prove this year I can stay healthy, and then here comes a hit, and they just dive and hide. Please don't hit me. I'm proving I can stay healthy this season. No, don't hurt me like be a linebacker. No.
There's guys that there's guys that seem to spend more time on the injured list than other guys. It's just, and hell, we were just talking about the Yankees. The entire Yankees starting roster seems to spend more time on the injured list than the field. But like in football, it's such a dangerous and violent sport that as a rookie, you don't have to prove you just go out and play.
That's it. Just ball, do your thing. We got another running back New York-based story coming up. But first, I feel like Julie Chen Moonves with that transition now. Let's talk about Mohawk Honda.
Expect the unexpected.
You don't have to deal with that at Mohawk Honda. No, you know what to expect at Mohawk Honda. It's great service, wonderful people helping you through the car buying experience. Whether you're looking for a new ride, a pre-owned vehicle, Mohawk Honda wants to help you. Wonderful team over there led by Greg Johnson, helping you find the ride that fits your family, your budget, your lifestyle, and more. I know from experience, love my Pilot. Little frustrated today. I'm sneaking this into our endorsement read. Drove to Syracuse. I told this to Levack before we started taping today too. Drove over to Syracuse practice, got to see the Orange, and then we had a media session. Got back in the Pilot, did some articles, ran back thanks to Roundtable Sports. Came back, waited, and then they canceled it. I'm like, well, at least I can do a nice, wonderful Pilot. At least I like my ride. At least I don't care that, okay, Fran canceled practice. I'm going with first name basis now. If you're driving around, whether it's vacations, to work, to school, and you don't like your vehicle, you're going to feel it every single time you're in there. Mohawk Honda wants to help you get a ride that you absolutely love. We took the kids to the park today too. Odyssey, Pilot, vehicles that we love. CRV I've had in the past as well. It's Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you. All right, let's keep talking.
Speaking of the Mohawk family, did you see what our boy Ben did about the concierge? Mohawk Chevy does like concierge service. Basically, they'll come do oil changes and stuff at your house. So it's like him on that damn scooter again. Next time we're at Mohawk Chevy,
Ben, yes,
yeah. Next time we're at Mohawk Chevy, I'm stealing his scooter. Don't tell him. I'm going to steal his scooter. I'm at least hide it.
When you first said Ben, and I thought social media, I thought Ben Nelson. But yes, I saw you retweeted
he's at
it.
Highmark today.
Funny. Oh, he is
at Highmark today.
Nice.
Yeah, that little nerd. He spends more time traveling than anybody I know. Like that, it's insane. All right.
Is he wearing the Bills helmet thing, the buffalo thing,
like the buffalo,
horns and whatnot?
Yeah. Because I think he's allergic to vagina, and he wants to make sure it never gets near him. So that's why he dresses like that. Dude, you think you can get laid wearing that?
No, I don't.
He looks. I can't tell if he's a Bills fan or he's headed to the Capitol. I don't know. Like what he's. I don't know what he's trying to prove.
This is a new feature. Get in the mind of Levack, guys. Before you could even say anything, my thought was gonna be, you know what? That's really cool. Ben wears that because that's a unique thing. Like people you go to games with, you have like your favorite jersey, your favorite thing. You know who couldn't get laid with that stupid hat on is Ben Nelson.
Anyone. No one can get laid with that on. It might as well come with a chin strap. What are you talking? Like it's got like it comes with anti-vagina aerosol cans. Like you just spray it around the air and nobody comes near you. It smells like a fart. That's what it smells like a comic book convention. That's what it smells like.
Well, Ben,
actually, hot chicks go there now. So
hope you're having a great time, Ben.
Yeah, we know. Not too great though. We can tell you that. That's for sure.
Najee Harris.
Speaking of scoring, Najee Harris is with the Giants.
I was Googling his name randomly the other day because I know there's a weird thing going on in the Chargers backfield. The Mike McDaniel admitted, don't draft these guys in fantasy football. I can't believe that was a real quote. Hey, sorry, fantasy football players, but we're going to do a huge mix here involving Amari and Hampton. Made a lot of people think he's actually hurt. Wait, where's Najee Harris? He's not there anymore. Former Steeler, former Charger. That odd incident involving his eye last year in camp. Remember that? That they kept it quiet, that he might have injured his eye on the 4th of July, but didn't admit it, that he had a random virus. Anyways, not a part of the Chargers anymore. Free agent, now a Giant. Cam Scatterbo played in the preseason. Levack, what do we make, if anything, of the signing here of the veteran running back?
This is what Harbaugh does. He's carried 3 to 4 backs most of his career. He is going to make sure that he has running backs that can get things done. Eric Gray is not that exciting. How many people? I think they had like 7 dudes with carries. 6 were running backs in the game. 1 was Winston. So I think it's fairly obvious. Like, Cam Scatterbo is going to get carries. Like he's going to get a decent amount of carries. But I think after that, Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy Jr., whoever else, like no one is blowing anybody away. So you bring in a vet who's had experience in the league, who's been successful in the league, let him compete for the job. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are going to hate this. I'm far more confident in your backfield today than I was when it was Cam Scatterbo and a bunch of dudes. Because I don't think Cam Scatterbo, like, he's got to prove me he can stay healthy.
How dare you? The guy's leg was hanging off, Levack. What do you want him to do?
Yeah, but then he was a dumbass he's doing backflips and crap at Fan Fest and everything. Like he's just Cam Scatto. You compared him to Gronk. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go. He's not the smartest person on that team. I'm gonna say it. He knows the flavor of a full pack of Crayolas. That dude.
Some things the Giants do don't make sense to me when you're building a roster. Now, I know that same phrase I'm using. I just had a flashback. I think about the Buccaneers. I'm wearing a Buccaneers shirt today, and it jumped out to me. Remember the year the Buccaneers had O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, and there was a fourth tight end who was a pretty good player. They had 4 tight ends. And I remember I was telling you, I'm like, Levack, nobody keeps 4 tight ends. This doesn't make any sense. They can't keep 4 tight ends. They ran the whole season with 4 tight ends. So some teams want to do things a certain way that they want to do. Okay, their structure, you want to keep 2 quarterbacks rather than 3, whatever. Some teams will do it their way. But again, this one don't make any sense. Because Najee Harris, use this relative term how you want. Has he actually been good in the NFL? Because he's a first-round draft pick. So, look, the expectations of what a first-round draft pick are far different than somebody who's a 5th or 6th rounder. He went to Pittsburgh. People thought he was going to be a no-doubt, like, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell-like player. He never was. Just didn't happen. He went to the Chargers last year, and they're like, this is a great 1-2 combo here with Harris and Hampton. Hampton gets hurt. Harris gets whatever that thing was. And now he gets signed. But now you got 4 running backs, okay? You got Tracy, Scattaboo, Singletary, and Harris. If you're going to run with, and I'm Gray's in there, that mixed too, there's probably 5 or 6, but like really 4 guys people know about. If you're going to run with 4 running backs, somebody's got to play special teams, right?
Yeah.
Like they got to play kickoff, kick cover, punt
Cam's
cover.
Special.
Maybe that thing is not as important as it used to be. Maybe the way people view special teams, like the days where you had like 10 to 12 kickoffs, now it's flying out of bounds and teams aren't punting as much. Maybe the special teams thing is not that big of a deal anymore. Okay. I haven't heard that take, but it's fine. 4 veterans. Someone's getting cut.
Oh,
do
yeah.
Do you think there's a chance Scattaboo gets cut?
No, not Scattaboo. They'll let him run until it's over. I think that I feel like you have an unjustified hatred of Najee Harris, and you have for quite some time. Like I feel like he's on your hate list. Like it just.
Too many times drafted him in fantasy.
Is that what it? Okay, that tracks. that definitely tracks. Do you know how many 1,000-yard backs are on the Giants roster right now?
Ooh, I don't think Singletary has ever got there. Devin Singletary, I don't believe he's had a 1,000-yard season. I think Harris had 2. I would say him. I think it's just Harris.
4 of his 5 seasons in the NFL, he's run for 1,000 or more yards. The only time he didn't was last year. He only had 61 yards, but he looked too close on Roman Candle or whatever the hell he did before the season even started. So you have 1,000-yard back on the team, and it's the only guy you don't like.
Now, how many carries? How many carries? He's got a lot more carries than all those other guys.
Yeah, but
one of those got 300 carries one of those years.
But he still was averaging, 400, 4 or 5 yards. I think he averages 4 yards a carry over his career, I believe. I'll have to look.
Pretty close, 3.9. You're right. That. I'm counting that as a yes. Yep.
Yeah. So he's played 17 games, all 4 years in Pittsburgh, only 3 last year. He only had 15 carries last year. He still had 4.1 per. You just is he
the best one? Now here are those stats. Like he has the best resume of all of them. That's for sure.
Best resume. I would say potentially the best back on the team. But look, he's not Derrick Henry. But could he have a Derrick Henry type renaissance in Harbaugh's system? Well, which Harbaugh's system is not really Harbaugh's system, but he's going to run and all that stuff. Could he be 1,000-yard back again this year? If he runs for 1,000 yards, Scattaboo runs for 800, that's 1,800 yards out of your backfield, plus probably another 500 from Jackson Dart. It's a pretty good running game. It's not terrible.
That is solid. That I can't argue with. That's really solid. The stuff that always makes me question, wonder, timing, right? So if they like Najee Harris so much, why are they signing him now? Why didn't they sign him a month ago? Why didn't they sign him 2 months ago? Is there something physically that happened to one of the running backs? Is it they're like, we thought and we just got it wrong?
They watched the game and they all sucked.
That could be the regular answer. They're just not as good as we thought they are. All of them. Scadaboo, Tracy. That's and a first-year head coach. That's right. I mean, that's just flat out the answer.
Is there a chance that this is a Harbaugh to Harbaugh conversation? Does one call the other and say, hey, you need a running back. I like this guy, but I don't have a space for him. Or hey, I need a running back. What do you think of Najee? I know you guys aren't keeping him. Are you not keeping him? What's the reason you're not keeping him? Is he somebody that I can work with? Like I think there's a brotherly collusion here. And I think it's more likely Najee Harris is a factor on this offense than he's not. And I think it would be, if you told me the backfield was Cam, Najee, and Singletary, and maybe Tyrone Tracy becomes a kick returner or something like that. I would believe that. And then Eric Gray's the odd man out, or Tyrone Tracy's. I think Tyrone Tracy showed you enough that you keep him around, right? Like, if anything, he stays over Singletary.
I'll tell you what, man.
I'll tell you what, man.
There's no team in the NFL, none of the 32 veterans, okay, guys who are not rookies. I'm going to go quickly to that, from rookie to veteran, that has a higher number of are they going to be on the team or get cut than the New York Giants. We've now hit double digits. The signing of Harris has now added a whole bunch of what ifs, who, how, where we get. Boy, that is an interesting roster all of a sudden, because we went through the wide receivers earlier this month. That's something. Now we've got this. And I almost comes off like what I'm saying this is a negative. Like, oh, man, you got to get rid of a bunch of players. Well, guess what? If the guys are working really hard in camp, you're going to take the best ones for the team. They're competing against one another. They got a chance. You had him in somebody else. There's a lot of positives to that. That's a lot of coaching cliche I just did there. But seriously, like, you got a tough decision to make. That means your team doesn't stink. If your team stunk, you'd be like, I'm stuck with these guys. That's not the case for the Giants this offseason.
Because I would argue the team that I think has the most, are they going to be here? Or are we going to cut them? Would be the Dolphins, but that's because they stink. The Giants have a chance.
A lot of young guys too.
Yeah, I think the Giants are the team with a chance to be good that has the most flux in their roster. I think. But again, when you go eyeball test and guy who's done it before, Najee Harris, I think he adds some validity to that backfield. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what he's able to do.
This is way too hard to figure out in August, but there could be, when you think back 3 months from now, we're like, hey, remember we had this conversation in August? It's an NFL football team. There's a really good chance guys will get hurt. Sorry, it's just the truth of it. Remember all the guys we had? Come on back. Remember, we're the ones that gave you a chance. Come on, Juju. Come on back. Come on back. That could have happened too. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much loyalty there is in the NFL, but that's interesting with that storyline hanging over Big Blue. No doubt, team will be based outside the United States of America. That's what Roger Goodell said in a recent interview with German media. Good for the people who aggregated this story today, involving former player Marcus Kuhn. Quote, at some point, there will be NFL teams outside the USA. I have no doubt that this will happen one day. We've seen international games. We've seen the product moving around the world. Goodell later in that same conversation, quote, there are definitely international cities that could host something like that, but we would like to see an NFL team in such a city first, talking about potentially hosting a Super Bowl as well. Levack, we know how sometimes people like to get a cheap pop from local media as two guys who have watched and listened to and performed media interviews promoting products and things like that. Do you think Goodell went just for a cheap pop, Mick Foley style in the local German media? Or do you think there's some truth to his conversation about an NFL team one day leaving the States?
I just love that he said someday. You know what I mean? Like someday, like, okay, go back to him in 15 years. Well, I didn't say it was going to be within 15 years. Like, go back, you know what I mean? Like, it's just by saying someday, he leaves it so open-ended. Well, I mean, we were pretty close to the Bills being in Toronto at one point. We know they're playing games in Mexico. I think it stays, I don't think we're going across the ocean. But I could see a team, in Canada. And listen, I know Mexico's known more for football than football, but I've talked to teams that used to be in arena football, teams that want to be in arena football, and things like, there's passion down there for American football. So yes, I believe it'll happen, but by not saying, in 5 years, 10 years, by not giving a timeline, it's just such a non-story. One day I will be with a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. One day. When? One day. You can't. So between now and when I die, I didn't lie to you. If I die and it didn't happen, then I lied to you. But otherwise, hopefully I got a good 30 plus years of trying to figure that out. One day. Stop it. I hate that. That bothers me.
What makes me so sad about this one too? Oh, look at that. I just placed a $3 wager in our home run parlay.
Ooh,
as I get older, and this is so sad, but we all know, depending on your age, how true that is. You nailed it with the someday thing. It is so perfect because whether you're 6, 16, 26, 36, pick that phrase in anything in life. You're talking to some girl. Hey, someday we might get married. You're not getting married.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Oh, someday, baby. Someday,
right? There was my first, I've referenced this earlier in the month too. My first job was selling like t-shirts in Watertown, New York. And I was like, where does this job future go? I think someday you might open a store in Syracuse. Well, that's 15 years. That day's never happened. We could do how many radio stories of someday you might have this or that, or any career. You might run your own store.
Someday you will have a long-term contract and you will run this market. Actually, they told me a day. It didn't happen.
Boy, I think my whole 5 years at ESPN, right? But seriously, but the point is, and I'm trying to defend the Goodells of the world, but I really feel like in a management, presidential, whatever role, they don't think they're lying when they say that. I think they have the best intentions. Like, hey, I think that could actually happen. And they might be proven right one day. Like you said, like, whoa, I told you someday a team was going to be outside of the U.S. I just didn't tell you how, when, but I believed it, and it didn't work out because X, Y, and Z. It covers your butt. It kisses up to the German media. It might be truthful, and which is a big part about this, and I think you said kind of alluded to this a little bit, like you've got all these international games. You got to give people a reason to keep going. Hey, someday you might have a team in Germany, Canada, Australia. Leave the carrot out there, you evil carrot danglers. But seriously, that's what it is. And it's a great for you. It's a great ESPN wants to promote a quote like that because they're like, oh my gosh, could you imagine the NFL's world? If you're like a customer, I think that's where
that's where my problem is, though. It's not, I don't have a problem with him saying it. I have a problem with how everybody's acting like it's a big story. Again, like you didn't, I'm going to Walt Disney World on Monday. Okay, boom. No, it's not going to your kids and going, hey, someday we'll go to Disney. Someday. Yeah, that's not a story. That's not a story. Hey, we're going Monday. That's a story. That's happening. Like, hey, there's going to be a team over. My goal is to have a team outside of the continental United States of America between now and the next 10 years. Okay, whoa, all right, now, that's Kennedy stuff. That's going to the moon stuff. That's all right, rock and roll. Let's go. But like, even that's kind of open-ended, but just someday my prince will come. Okay. Someday. How dare you?
We move on to the final story here.
I can't believe you guys follow that guy. One of our ex-coworkers is weird.
Oh, I can't get enough of it.
He's the weirdest dude. I'm not going to say names. He's tried to friend me and get me to follow him on everything. And I just ignore him. He is a freaking weirdo. And guys and a couple of our former coworkers are all like, look at what he did today. Yeah, no crap. He's crazy as hell. Like, he was a dick to me when we worked together. I'm not going to be nice to him now.
I had a good run there for what was it, 2 or 3 weeks, where it was me, you, and Delia. I would just send it in our group chat. Yeah. Now I actually saw that photo, and I'm like, you know what? Let's bring this. I'm like, Delia doesn't need this in her life right now. I don't need to just check on her monthly and send her photos of that.
Sure she does.
So another coworker sent it to us.
Yeah, former coworker.
Former. Thank you. That's right.
Maybe one day she'll be our coworker again.
She could. She actually probably would like to work with us again. I think she would. The Brooklyn Nets owner admitted
she has to prove she can stay healthy.
She actually has to prove she can stay healthy. Brooklyn Nets owner said in a recent interview that the Knicks title run is, quote, embarrassing to the franchise and insisted that the crosstown rivals' recent success will not alter Brooklyn's rebuild. This is to the Nets Daily. Again, the championship run of the Knicks embarrassing to the Nets. Every year, some team's going to win a championship. So it happens that this year that the team is in the same city. It doesn't make us feel very good. It irritates our fan base, and it's embarrassing. But in business or in competition, sports or anything, you shouldn't let the embarrassment factor affect how you perform. We had a plan and we're rebuilding. And I think right now we're on a positive trajectory, so it doesn't change my thinking at all. Levack, what do you make of the Nets ownership being embarrassed by Knicks championship?
They should be embarrassed for being the Nets ownership. Like my rival Brad Pitt and I were just talking. You're not the Knicks rival. You're not even in the Knicks. Like the Knicks have been garbage for a decade plus. They finally got good a couple of years ago. Even when the Knicks were garbage, you weren't their rival. When you were trying to do everything you could to buy a championship, you weren't the Knicks rival. You're not a rival. A hammer's not a rival with a nail. Like, stop it. Our crosstown rivals. How dare you? You stop pretending you're that important, because you're not. How you be embarrassed of what you've done. Be embarrassed. Like if the Knicks are just they're the champions. They did it right. They built it the way they had to build it. They couldn't get the superstar to come to town. They got Jalen Brunson to come to town. They traded for Karl-Anthony Towns, made all these moves. The Nets have been able to get these superstars to come to town and not do anything with it. They've been able to stockpile first round picks, not do anything with it. Like, you're not their rival. The Nets themselves are a large pile of dookie that their ownership's noses should be rubbed in until they get it right. That's what they are.
Take that, AI. Clip that, baby, and put that on the shorts. Send that off to Eric Hanneman, your fellow Net fans, or wherever else you got out there. Send that over to Nets Daily. It's at the Jeff Levack, Levack. Did you hear him? Look, Levack's looking for some Knicks championship gear, I think, behind us on the video side.
I play with my balls. I got a bunch of balls back here. Once in a while I play with my balls.
I'm going a way different direction on this. Way different, because I can't really add much to what you just said there. And I believe the Knicks. No, I'm not going to go in your direction. I'm going a different direction. More owners should do this. Serious. More owners should admit it. Yep, we were embarrassed. Yep, we don't want the team in the same city as us to win. We don't, because I'm in a business of competition. I want my team to win. I won't tell you how I got to this story, but I watched her, and I'm going to, oh man, that might have been too specific. Okay. There's competing business. I'll do Syracuse. No. I'll do this one in Syracuse. There's competing businesses here in Syracuse, not in the college level. I'm sure Lemoyne's not always happy about Syracuse's success, but there's a Syracuse Crunch, which is the AHL affiliate hockey team, and there's the Syracuse Mets. The Mets and Crunch don't like each other, at least the ownership group and how that comes together. I watched somebody associated with one of the groups say, I don't believe these guys are actually improving. I came here to, I'm like, girl, you're just rooting against them for no other reason than you were brought. She had like a connection to one of the organization. I'm like, you should know. You're here in the city. Root for the. How often, Levack, have you and I talked about just like being Team Albany? Like, root for the Great Danes, root for the Saints, root for the Valley Cats, root for the Firebirds and all the other teams that are the Phoenix and everybody else, the Patroons. But I used to, like, at least once or twice a year, maybe more, would remind you of how unique that is. Of, hey, Levack's associated with the Firebirds and Empire as an executive, but he's doing interviews with other teams. And I'm sure, and you did a good job of not often admitting it, but having to do a very difficult spot of like, hey, these guys don't have to like me. And it's nothing personal to me, Levack. I know I'm talking for you. But you know what I mean? Like, you're competing for their money. You're competing for their dollars. Your business is better if they lose because your team wins. They're taking their money to the winning team. Because how many more people just looked at this upcoming NBA season like, where would you rather go, the Knicks or the Nets? You laid out the history of the franchise, but seriously, like, people would rather go to a place that wins than loses. And it's way more, maybe I'm crazy on this take. I feel like it's way more hyper competitive in smaller medium markets than big markets. Because big markets, you got tons of different advertising and entertainment dollars to spend it on. They're competing with Broadway. They're competing with baseball games. I don't know your take on that. Like, do you sometimes take a step back and be like, boy, maybe our relationship with the Phoenix Valley Cats and the pro teams locally in Albany should be more testy? Or maybe it is and you haven't reflected it or told us more about how much you hate people there.
Well, I mean, when we're in season at the same time, you know, you do, there's a competitiveness to it. You know, but that was the Firewolves before they turned tail and ran to Canada. The Valley Cats, but the Valley Cats are different than everybody else. The Valley Cats are super helpful. Like if you ever need anything, you can call them. They'll have a conversation with you and they'll tell you the secret to their success. Like have fireworks, have an experience, do more than just your sport. Like they'll tell you how to do that stuff. So you can't begrudge them at all. But like anything that's outside of your season is good for the area. So you want it all. Like I've told you this before, and I'll say it again. Andy Gelcher blew my mind. You know, the owner of Mohawk Chevrolet and one of the owners of the Firebirds. He told me, like, because I was like, dude, you know, my buddy works at this other Chevy dealership, whatever. He goes, good, yeah, no, I love those guys. I'm like, wait, how can you love like if I buy a Chevy from them, I don't buy it from you. He goes, I'm gonna sell mine. Like I'm gonna sell mine. But having more Chevrolets on the road is better for me. Like when you look over and see a Silverado and go, man, I want a Silverado. Then you might call me, you know, where if everybody's riding around in, you know, I'll just say Toyotas for, you know, whatever, that's not good for me. That doesn't, whatever. So like to your point where like, if everybody stops going to sports in the area and starts, you know, staying home and building up their TV system and all this, that's not good for me. But if everybody's like, man, I love going to the Patroons, the Phoenix, I love going to the Firebirds, that's good for me because you're gonna keep chasing that feeling of being out and having that experience. So at its core, no, it's not a competition because there isn't another arena football team in the market. But like when the Valley Cats have a game the same night we do, or Saratoga's running a big race the same night we do, and then those kind of things, that does become competitive. And well, competitive to a degree, but we're not Saratoga's rival. Like as much as I'd love to tell you the Firebirds are, the Saratoga race course is the Knicks, and then that in that scenario we would be the Nats, except for we win championships, which is not this year. Next year we'll be back.
Nets got a long way to go.
Long way.
I'm glad he's open and says it. I want to be competitive. I want to win. I like that. Some owners don't care. Let's say that too. Like some owners will collect money and don't even know who's on their team and don't know where the money's going to come from and just move on with their other businesses. This guy cares. And that's cool if you're a Net fan.
Yeah. There's nothing cool about being a Net fan.
I used to always say how great the stadium was, the Barclays Center, and I realized that take is 10 years old. The Raiders Stadium is the best stadium I've gone to recently. I don't know what the other ones look like. I don't know what Highmark looks like. I'm sure there's other arenas and spots, but I think now I think Barclays 2. Allegiant Stadium's 1, Barclays is 2.
I think Highmark, as long as you're not sitting in obstructed views and you're okay with dealing with a bunch of unwashed Buffalo Bills fans, it's a great place, I'm sure.
That's all I have. I got a couple comments here real quick.
Let's go.
Guys, come on. Seriously, you have the Ravens winning the AFC? Go Bills. Okay.
Who's that from?
We got our Bill. We got her. Hang on a sec. We got her preview coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm starting to don't worry about your Bills out there. I'll start looking at the Bills again very, very soon. We got another comment here. Where's this one? Go Birds. No, we got that one. Clippers clearly violated the salary cap, and the NBA doesn't have the stones to do anything about it.
So I think the only word you used wrong in there is clearly, because if it was clear, they would have to. So that I believe you are correct. The Clippers violated the salary cap. They played it end around, but they did it in such a way that the NBA can't 100% prove it. If you told me that about the Lakers, okay, they're not messing with the Lakers, but they'll mess with the Clippers. What did Tarkanian used to say? The NCAA is so mad at North Carolina they're going to suspend Arkansas State or something like that. Like the Clippers are that team. So no, I think the Clippers cheated. I guarantee you that sometime between now and next NBA season, there will be some kind of clarification on improper benefits for players. Because I think what the Clippers did, what Ballmer did, is show the NBA a loophole they didn't know they had, or else he would have been suspended or lost draft picks or paid a huge fine.
We move on. Yes, that's all it. I like this one here. Have you heard about this new pitcher for the San Francisco Giants?
Oh, the big dude?
Tugboat Wilkinson has been called up. For those who don't know about Tugboat Wilkinson, his name is Matt Wilkinson. He was called up. That's right, very good. People are waiting for when Tugboat is going to make his Major League Baseball debut. So I tweeted the quote about Tugboat, and I got a lot of comments because this is true. about Tugboat. This is my tweet at Tom Goss, TOMGOZC. I'm proud to share that I was on a team with teammates nicknamed Tugboat, Dump Truck, and Beef. I sent that tweet. I sent that tweet out. My old teammate, shout out to Beef Shaw, liked it in 5 minutes. I'm like, does Beef have my tweets on his phone? Shout out to Beef. Multiple comments. DRB wrote, guys, I dare Matt Stafford to have a bad game. Tugboat looks just like Matt Stafford. Casey, I'm going to save that one for last.
Matt Stafford, though.
James Maz with the blue check mark saw my tweet and wrote, hey, guys, you anything with those nicknamed cats? And then Casey wrote in, guys, don't forget in high school, you had two teams. Don't forget, guys, in high school, you had two teammates nicknamed Fat Dak and Crooked Richard, which is true as well.
Something tells me Richard was so that you didn't get in trouble. Is that a shower story?
Right.
Is that a shower story? Is that what that is?
That's right. He had a lot of partners, let's just say, and over time, Richie did some damage. Anyways, that's a story for another day. Yes. So he had a Fat Dak.
Was that a dirty money party? Was that a dirty money party? We learned about that?
Those are sadly high school teammates. Yes, Tugboat Madison, who's now a teacher somewhere out, I think in Phoenix. Beef Shaw mentions in Long Island. And Dump Truck Dick Fletcher. I have no clue where he is, but I'm not sure if he actually.
This was college or high school these nicknames came from?
Tugboat, Dump Truck, and Beef, I believe, are all high school nicknames that made their way to the college. We all found out about their nicknames. So I obviously just didn't call it Tugboat. I just called him Tug. I just called him that. Dump Truck failed out of Hobart. I'm going to be careful. I don't think Dump Truck failed out of Hobart. I think he just left Hobart. And Beef was actually a very good player. He's a walk-on, ended up being a significant player for us.
Dump Truck, it was manifest destiny. His nickname became what he did for a living, driving a dump truck. That's what. There's some highlights of Dump Truck Fletcher, that Walden Class D team, obliterating Latavius Murray and Onondaga. Those were. I've always told you Dump Truck's my favorite. I always liked that guy. I think he's amazing. I think his skill was underestimated. And by the way, at Hobart, can't he just say he graduated? Won't they give him a degree if he says a diploma if he just says he graduated?
And I don't want to be too disrespectful to one of my former teammates, but I say this as nicely and kindly as I can say about Dump Truck Fletcher. Dump Truck didn't want to do school. There's country.
That's why you go to Hobart. That's why you go to Hobart. So you don't have to do school.
I don't think Dump Truck made it the second semester. Dump Truck only knew a few words, and most of them start with the letter F. I've never heard one person in one sitting drop so many F-bombs. Dump Truck just didn't. There's Country Boy, and Dump Truck Fletcher. That was a whole different level. He made Corey and Greenwich look like a suit. Let's put it like that.
Corey is kind of a sellout. I mean, let's just be honest. He's kind of a sellout. He is a little bit. Dump Truck. That's great. Ugh.
Which one of the three do you like better, though? Tugboat, Dump Truck, or Beef?
I think Beef. I think Beef's just got a weird, you gotta have a lot of self-confidence to walk around calling yourself Beef. I feel like that's the thing. Like that the origin story from that one is like your uncle is just like, oh, here comes. He's probably been Beef since he was a toddler. Oh, here comes Beef. He's trying to eat the cat. Or something.
I hope somebody from Hobart's listening to this, but just do me a favor real quick, and you listening can have fun with this. And he's a coach now. He's doing wonderful things. Do you got your lab? You obviously have your laptop right there. Do me a favor. Just type in Anthony Shaw Hobart real quick here before we wrap. Just type in Anthony Shaw Hobart and look at a picture. And you look at that picture and say, yeah, that's Beef. Okay, I understand why they call that kid Beef.
2009 Hobart football. Defensive lineman. Oh, my. He's got a mohawk. Oh my God!
Is that a beef or is that not a beef?
You know what he looks like? If Ryan McCarthy found a weight room instead of a comic book collection. That's what it is.
Like. Shout out to Beef, man. Coach Beef down in Long Island. He's got some.
Does he still have the mohawk?
I don't think he does, but that's my guy. He's nothing but good. True story. Quick, we're getting a lot of Beef Shaw love here. My dad once said as I was standing on the sidelines at Hobart, slowly taking my helmet on and off, he says, "You know, my favorite player on the team is Beef Shaw." Like, what about me? How about your son?
That's hurtful.
Beef.
That's hurtful. That's hurtful. Is there a chance your dad thought your nickname was Beef? Is there a chance that he thought it was you?
No, I don't. I don't think so. No, he's an entertaining character. That Beef.
He told. I don't know if he told you this. Your dad said I was his favorite member of Levack and Goss. So
I wonder why he said I was in the top 2. Wait a second.
he told me he likes when Baby Abe runs into the room behind you, that he becomes number 2 on the list of favorite members.
My way down.
I was on Facebook earlier today for a couple minutes. I hate Facebook. Social media is a cesspool. I hate it. But one of the memories was you, me, and what's his nuts there, Zach, wearing bucket hats up at the track a couple years back.
Oh yeah, man, that was awesome. That was good stuff. So, hopefully,
I'm going to get a bucket hat for Disney next week. I don't know.
I say yes.
I got a big straw hat I might wear. So
my kids got fishing poles. They're going camping this weekend. They're all excited about it.
Nice.
And they got I don't know if we're doing bucket hats. I think we have more issues of finding the worms than the bucket hats. So
you gonna show them how to pitch a tent?
You've heard the story about the tent, right? You know that story?
No.
All right, we got time. This is great. We don't have to go to break in the Reno where we have to go to break after that.
Cavino and Rich are next.
This is a real true story. Not the camping type. Who would have guessed it? Me. We are, I guess we call this glamping. We're actually staying at an Airbnb at a camp. So they're going to do like the experience of the s'mores and the fire and all that stuff, but we're not going to be outside. So when I went with my buddies, when we actually go real camp, this is like into college, I didn't know what I was doing with the tent. So my dad and I put the tent together. So we put the tent together, not at the campsite. We put the camp in the car. So all I had to do was take the tent out, push it. Mistakes were made. Now, my wonderful then girlfriend Jordan was not with me. So imagine me and a bunch of my buddies having more than a few adult beverages at a campsite. As her friend Aggie once said, she goes, "It was horrible." She goes, "At the end of the night, I see him in his tent, but his feet are sticking out. It's like this little teepee and these big legs and feet, like a TV movie." So yeah, I'm not shocking anyone. I'm not a camper.
One time we all went. It was buddies. It was a big group of people, and I brought my tent, and we started drinking before we put the tents up. I 100% woke up under a truck in my tent like a sleeping bag. Like didn't even put it up, just got inside of it, zipped it shut, and slept under a truck. That's where I was. So luckily they didn't leave because that would have sucked. I'd probably been dragging down the 87. But yeah, that's so everybody's been there. Everybody's had some erectile dysfunction with a tent. That's fine. It happens. All right. I think that's about it for today, though. I think that's that. I think you probably should, if you're up to it, go ahead and hit the freaking button.